Hi, my name is Francesca Quinn and I'm going to be talking about whether education kills creativity. So first off, what is creativity? Well, according to Sir Ken Robinson, it's the development of unique and valued ideas. From his talk on changing education paradigms, he also suggested that divergent thinking generates creativity. So according to Ferrari, Cascia and Puni, they suggested that innovative teaching also creates creativity as well. So what are the parental influences on creativity for children? It suggested that parents have a positive effect on academic achievement, and this model to the right shows that their involvement is based on perception, skill, time, personal construction and requests. They suggest that the developmental outcomes for the children are influenced by the parental involvement, and this is by Hoover, Dempsey and Sandler. They also suggest that children learn from modelling, reinforcement and instruction, which could therefore enhance their creativity if they get the push they need from their parents at home, as well as teachers in a school environment. There's also the idea that one correct answer can suppress creativity because of the traditional teaching method, where all children sit in an organised classroom with the teacher talking to them, and then they read out a passage out of a book, and therefore no debate or discussion is encouraged. This is said to be the driving force behind the fact that creativity is being killed. So, like for example, if 20 students are told to read a passage in a book, they could interpret that passage 20 different ways, yet they're being told there's one correct answer, so there's no sort of room for interpretation when it comes to exams. Some exams have multiple choice questions where there's one correct answer, and so on. This therefore means that creativity is needed for critical thinking. The research behind this shows that education system does not incorporate creativity, and creativity is important because it enhances cognitive abilities, successfulness and happiness amongst children. As I said before, they follow the traditional teaching method, which means that children are not being taught how to generate discussion and debate. Also, the improvement methods for creativity are not altered, so that's not implemented into education as well. Martoyo suggested that all schools do is shift the knowledge from the teachers to the children. They only learn facts and figures, and then this is not motivating children into wanting to learn and wanting to find out new information, because they're just being taught the knowledge that could be found on the internet and from their parents and things like that. So they're not using the knowledge to generate debate and discussion. That Hancock found that cooperative learning leads to higher motivation, which could then be implemented into education. He measured face-to-face interactions, individual accountability, interdependence and collaborative skills, which showed that the high peer orientation may motivate students. So this is another example that debate and discussion would motivate students to learn and want to find out more. As I said before, this learning style and other similar learning styles could be incorporated into education. So to summarise, education lacks creative teaching skills because they use a traditional teaching method where students are sat in an organised classroom, aren't allowed to go outside, sat at desks, being told what they have to know. The innovative teaching methods are needed, as shown by the European Commission. They suggested that innovative teaching should be taught to all teachers so that they know how to teach creativity. This would therefore enhance critical thinking skills amongst children. Thank you for listening. Does anyone have any questions?
You focused on children and creativity and the lack of critical thinking because of the traditional setup. How would this apply to adults in education, say, in universities?
I think that it would apply a lot because what you'll learn as a child influences how you are as a person at university. For example, if a child was taught how to generate debate and discussion whilst they're in school, they might then come to university wanting to find out more, wanting to take part in discussions.
But what I was meaning is the teaching methods that are used in university are not that different than what are used in primary
Yeah.
school. Do you think the teaching methods in university help creativity and critical thinking skills and all that kind of stuff, or do you think that most of the teaching methods in university do the same thing that they do in primary school?
I think it's a bit of both. I think it depends on what, say for example, what you have in your module. Like this module, I think this module enhances creativity and critical thinking skills.
Did everybody hear that?
Because you have to go out and you have to search for stuff on the internet and you have to sort of almost formulate an argument, whereas other modules where you're just taught in a lecture theatre and then you take on your own work to revise for those exams don't necessarily teach the critical thinking skills, because the exams at this university are heavily based on MCQ questions or short answer, where you're limited to how much you can write.
In your one kind of answer, kind of slide that
Yeah.
you had, I was wondering, with pure sciences like mathematics, chemistry, physics, and different things, there is only like kind of a one answer fit kind of thing. How do you feel creativity could be applied into those kind of subjects?
I think that for chemistry and maths and such subjects like that, I think that maybe it's the environment that they're being taught in. Maybe if they were sort of like more experiments for chemistry were available in schools, that would then make children think, oh no, I could do it this way, I could do it that way, and this would show the child like how different experiments can either link together or there's different ways of doing different things. And likewise with maths, some children know how to get the answer straight away. Others have to sort of like write down how to get to the answer, things to achieve. So I think that maybe if they were taught, not how they want to be taught, but how best they think that they need to be taught, then maybe they would do better in maths.
Aren't you saying it's the questions that are asked?
Yeah.
I mean, when you just ask a question that only has one answer, whereas in maths and sciences there's no reason why you have to ask questions that only have one answer.